idiots with opinions. Idiots may vary.
Hi there, and welcome back to the podcast. My name's Tuscan.
My name's Todd.
And you're listening to Idiots with Opinions.
That's right. This is a show about two idiots.
And the opinions that they offer to the world.
And so usually, we would be talking about some topical topics.
Yeah. And we like to diversify the content here. We don't want to stick to any one formula.
Yeah, because if you stick to a formula, people will hold you to that formula.
Right.
So we're gonna see how it goes today.
Yeah, we're gonna very little plans for where we're gonna go.
But we have some plans. We still have some plans.
I mean, there are always plans.
Yeah. There's always plans. You need plans to go where you're gonna go.
Not always.
You're right.
I mean, normally you just hop in the car, you get driving, you see a road, it looks like a nice little scenic road, you drive down it for a little while, and you see where you end up.
Tuscan, I have some questions for you.
Is that so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess today we will be answering questions that the internet wants us to know about.
Yes.
And the internet is full of questions that idiots are welcome to answer at any time, which is exactly the space we like to invade. That's where we want to be.
Yes.
And where we will end up.
Correct. First question, Tuscan.
Yes.
Why are towels considered dirty when you get out of the shower and you use them and you're clean?
Well, I mean, you don't wash your towel after every cleaning, right?
No.
I mean, do you? I certainly don't.
No.
I don't know if that's unsanitary. Should I be washing my towels every time I use them? I certainly do when I'm in a hotel, right? If you stay a couple of nights at a hotel, you put them on the ground, the maid picks them up and gives you new towels.
Yeah.
And that's a whole thing.
That's a very nice thing.
Yeah, and you always want to be using clean towels to wash yourself.
Shout out to hotels.
Yeah, they're the best.
Not a sponsor.
I work in a hotel.
No, you don't. But still, do they really need to be cleaned all that time? Because you're clean when you get out of the shower.
Well, yeah, you're clean, but I mean, there are always, soap doesn't do anything, or it doesn't do everything, is what I mean. Like,
You're right.
If you expect your soap to fully sanitize your body, you are sorely mistaken.
I want to take baths, I want to go swimming in a pool full of Purell.
Purell.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. Yeah, no, that seems like it'd be really uncomfortable. Just burn every orifice of your body. That if you have a paper cut anywhere, it will be in searing pain the entire time.
But pain is beauty.
I mean, in this case, I think pain is just drying your skin out.
But that's gel. It's wet. It's moisturizing.
Yeah, but it's got so much alcohol in there. It's gonna just dry you out.
What if you jump into the pool of Purell, and then you jump into a separate pool of moisturizing rejuvenation cream?
Moisturizing rejuvenation cream. I mean, I feel like that would kind of negate the purpose of being in the Purell in the first place.
No, because the purpose of being in the Purell in the first place is to get clean.
Well, yeah, you get clean, you get sanitized, but then you jump into the lotion, and the lotion's got probably all sorts of stuff in it. It's not sterile. Is it?
Well, I mean, if the only people who are ever jumping into it are people who have just bathed in Purell, then it should be somewhat sterile.
Well, yeah, somewhat, but there are all sorts of microbes that make that lotion work, or something.
Okay.
I mean, there are bacteria living everywhere.
What if you do the lotion first?
So lotion first, then Purell?
Yeah.
Doesn't the Purell just burn off the lotion then?
Tuscan,
Negates
why do you
the
always
entire
make
purpose.
my ideas sound stupid?
I'm just trying to get to the root of what we're talking about here.
I'm trying to come up with the best way we could ever be clean.
The best way to get clean.
Best way to get clean is ask for help, first off.
Yeah.
Acceptance that you know that you're doing something wrong.
Right, you want to move past the stages of denial.
Yeah.
And anger, hate, the dark side.
Yeah.
And move to acceptance.
Yeah. Just have a quick chat with Master Yoda and you'll be good. You'll be out of that.
Yoda knows what he's talking about. He's a good guy. Is he a guy? I mean, they never really specify. They never really specify.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, Star Wars, not a sponsor. But
also Yoda, not a sponsor.
But they never specify what Yoda is. I mean, we all just kind of assume he's a guy. But Yoda, be man, woman, or unidentified alien, is still a very, very wise creature who knows what he's talking about. You know, he's going to lead you down the right path.
He's very wise, except when it comes to sentence structure. He's been living for hundreds of years and still doesn't know how to speak English correctly.
It always baffles me in space fantasies like that everybody speaks the same language. You know, everybody's a little bit British.
Do you think eventually we're going to all learn the same language?
Yeah, I actually do. I think at some point here in the future, there's going to be a universality assigned to languages, and a lot of them are going to die out.
I agree.
As things become more prominent. At the current time, English has become a very prevalent language in business, right? So if you're trying to do international business, and I think there are 8 official languages of the UN, of the United Nations. I want to say Arabic, English, French, Russian, German.
There are a lot of Arabic dialects, though.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Spanish dialects, too. I think probably Chinese and Spanish are on there. Like Mandarin Chinese. I'm pretty
sure Arabic has many, many different...
there are a lot of countries, a lot of...
and probably Mandarin, too, yeah.
Well, Mandarin is a sect of Chinese. It's just one of the classifications and dialects that Chinese falls under, as far as I know.
I'm not a language expert. I'm going to say that right now.
I only know one other language.
Yeah, Spanish.
I do speak Spanish, but...
I speak a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Japanese,
I speak no Japanese. French. No French.
But all of those are not huge for me.
It's actually amazing. You know, you see young people from other countries, and I'm always at first taken aback when they know a language that I don't. And I should always kind of check myself, because I'm like, well, that's just the way that they were raised. You know, they were raised speaking whatever language they're speaking now, and they can speak it way better than I ever could hope to, and they are a child. And there's something about that is truly fascinating, that without even trying, children are able to learn languages straight out the birth. Straight out the birth. You know that language. and being exposed to it consistently over time makes you aware of all the things.
I want to learn some languages right now.
I don't think that's how it works.
Soon it will.
Yeah, it'll be like
download everything.
It'll be like liquid television. You know, you download it into your head, and languages will be the same way. You just download the entire dialect, and suddenly you're fluent in Russian. And you just go to Russia and speak with the best of them. Mm-hmm.
I think I would be okay with not having an English accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. In any language that I would learn, I believe I would have a pretty good chance of not having a strong English accent.
Well, you and I are decent at imitating other people.
Yes.
And that's kind of where I derive that from. I mean,
exactly. That's what my thought process is on that.
As I've been learning Spanish, I've been trying harder and harder to adopt a more generic, maybe Mexican accent, because that's about as close to an American accent as you get with Spanish-speaking countries. You know, you get further into South America, and you've got a lot of going on. You got a lot of different words. You got J's sound like
J's and the L's,
and the
me llamo.
Yeah, the L's turn into something else.
Yeah.
You know, Colombian sounds very different than Chilean, sounds very different than Peruvian. And Argentinian, nobody knows what those guys are talking about. I'm serious. Argentinians are, ooh boy. Like I have a professor right now in one of my Spanish classes that is straight out of Spain. And she has a very, very difficult to understand Spanish accent. She's one of those people who speaks in mostly vowels. And so when she'll say a sentence, it'll just be a homogeneous amalgamation of vowel sounds with not a lot of consonants to break those up. And she'll think that she's speaking very clearly and trying to be as patient and as inclusive as possible. But I talked to some of the other people in the class, and I'm like, do you guys understand her? Like half the time, they're like, no. We're all fluent in Spanish, and a lot of us don't understand what she's saying. Yeah, I mean, it's such a regional thing with that. And since Spanish language has been such a pervasive culture across the world, right? With Spanish imperialism, they spread the language across the world and kind of threw it on top of the indigenous population as if that's the way you need to be. And so that
stuck a flag in the ground.
And so the way that changed the entire Spanish language over time is actually quite interesting, and indigenous peoples have changed the way that Spanish is spoken in their country, from traditional Spanish speakers to, you know, creating their own specific dialects. You ever look at different words for Spanish fruits?
No.
In Spanish, there are all kinds of, you know, a banana in like 12 countries is called all sorts of different things.
Depending on the country it's in?
Right, yeah. Or even where you're from in that country. Mm-hmm. You might call a banana something different than...
But it's not like a synonym.
No, it is a synonym. I mean, they all mean banana.
But like, would somebody who's speaking Spanish in one area...
They would know what you're talking about, but they would call it something else.
Okay.
Because, I mean, they're knowledgeable of what these other dialects kind of are. Like, you know, how we are with British.
British, yeah.
Right. So, you know, if you're in Britain, you call a bathroom a loo. And we know what they're talking about, but we...
I mean, some people might not in America.
Well, right. Yeah, I mean, but you that's something you learn, and it's a stereotype that you adopt at some point, right? If you hear a British person speaking and they reference a restroom, they will call it a loo. Or a water closet. WC.
The water closet.
The WC.
I love British people.
Yeah, British people are pretty cool. I'm alright with them.
British.
From time to time. I don't. I've been there.
I don't wish I lived in Britain.
Yeah.
UK's got a lot of problems going on right now.
Yeah, man, a lot of anti-free speech,
anti-free speech stuff going on right now.
Yeah, they're a very repressive culture.
Mm-hmm.
They still have a queen. Not a lot of people dwell on that. They're like, "Oh, Britain's great." I'm like, "You still have a monarch."
Yeah,
man. You still live in a religious society.
Yeah, but does the queen actually do anything? Because I feel like the parliament just is the only thing that really matters in Britain.
It doesn't matter. You have a figurehead who, and it would be even worse to have a figurehead, even if they're irrelevant, because they use taxpayer money to fund their ridiculously extravagant lifestyles. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, I don't mean to get political on here, but I'm not cool with the queen taking my money so that she can buy a dress.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm paying taxes for. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the queen's dress. You can get rid of the queen for all I care. If she has no power, why is she there?
Yeah. And I'm very comfortable in saying that here in America, where we have free speech.
Yeah, free speech is the best.
But I'm very sorry for people across the pond who might not be able to say that.
Yeah, we might get banned in the UK.
Yeah.
Just for spouting anti-queen mentalities.
Yeah, that'd be sad.
Yeah, it would be. It's a truly oppressive country.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people give it credit for that.
Yeah, true. I got another kind of question. I was going to segue into it.
All right.
But we passed the kairotic moment.
Well, you know, you can go for it.
Is there a synonym for synonym?
Not that I know of.
That's it.
Is that just an oxymoronic statement?
That's just yeah. There's another one. If you drop soap on the floor, is the floor clean or is the soap dirty?
Well, it depends on the sanitizer. I mean, it's like the towel thing, right?
Yeah. No, this is.
But the soap itself is a sanitizing agent.
Question.
I don't know if they're exact.
Nope, they're the exact same question, Tuscany.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I would consider the soap to still be clean if it's on the floor, and the floor might have gotten.
But okay, say you got some dirt on the floor, and you drop some soap. I would argue that if I dropped soap on the floor and there was dirt, it was dirty. The floor was kind of dirty. I would bring it up and I would wash it off.
Yeah, you'd rinse it off.
The soap would be dirty.
I mean, if there was actual dirt on it, then there would be no doubt that the soap was dirty.
Yeah, but either way, I'd probably wash it off. I'm not a big fan of the hand soap.
How do you mean? Like the pump?
No, like the bars.
Oh, the bars? Yeah. Did you know liquid soap is a pretty recent invention? Like within the last 50 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Liquid soap has come around. Our grandparents...
Well, isn't toothpaste kind of? I mean, a little...
It's older than that, but they used to use baking soda before that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Clean their teeth. I remember the British, I want to go back to them, They used to use sugar.
Yeah, they just used sugar
back in the day, and that
obvious that doesn't work. Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah, and it had very visible effects.
Yeah.
On the entire British population. Not to continuously insult the British after you said they were cool.
I mean, I still think they're cool.
I like the British, man. I like going to Britain. I think they got a lot of cool stuff. It's like going back in time, though, because they've still got all these relics from the Renaissance and from medieval times. They've got castles you can go visit.
Oh, castles, so cool.
Yeah, castles are dope. And you're going to Britain this summer, or you're going to Ireland and Scotland, and Scotland is in Great Britain.
Yeah,
it's a great time.
Family has a castle there.
Yeah,
I'm royalty. Bow down, Tuscan.
I will not.
Please.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We fought a revolution for that.
No, I'm very glad. I'm very glad that we live in the country we do today. I'm a fan of America.
Yeah,
it's got its flaws, but I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean every country's got their flaws, but if you're gonna live anywhere, live in the place where you can mend those flaws, right? Where your voice matters in changing the atmosphere in which you live.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, but you can say whatever you want in response to what the government's doing, and you have no fear of being prosecuted for it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely no fear.
What color are mirrors, Tuscan?
Green.
All right.
Proven fact, they're green. If you look into a mirror tunnel, you will notice deeper down the line, shades of green become more and more apparent.
Interesting.
I watched a video on this at one point because I found it a very interesting question myself.
Yeah.
But mirrors are in fact green.
Who put the alphabet in alphabetical order?
Ask the Romans, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about Latin. So.
Well, why?
Why? I'm not sure.
We need to. How about we make a new language?
Sounds difficult.
No, because if we make a language that is easy to learn from everybody's perspective, kind of in the middle of everyone,
right?
Has roots, still probably Latin based, but what languages aren't Latin based? Mandarin, Arabic.
Any sort of Chinese, a lot of Eastern languages that use different sorts of characters.
Yeah, what if we made a language that had Latin influences but also Eastern influences, and then we all came together and we're like, hey, now we all know how to speak to each other.
Well, that pretty much sounds like you're just meshing all the languages, so you just learn all the languages.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It just sounds like a task, an ordeal.
Yeah, but it's one task for everyone instead of 50 or thousands of tasks for everyone.
To play devil's advocate with you, because I do think this is a good idea. I think that universal communication is key to humans getting along, right? Mm-hmm. But there's something lost in
culture.
In culture, yeah. Because
good point.
Take Arabic for example. Very, very important to the Muslim religion.
Yeah,
it is central to the belief in Islam, mm-hmm. and the same is true with Hebrew and Judaism.
Yeah,
right, and neither of those things can you take away from that culture. Hebrew is going to be pervasive as long as Judaism exists, and I don't see it declining and going away anytime soon.
But here's the thing: I'm saying you don't have to get rid of all the other languages. Mm-mm. You just have someone, you teach everyone this one language, and then you also teach them the other languages.
Well, I mean, they can still know the languages that they know, but
that's what I'm saying.
In time, those languages will become dead languages, and that's not to say that we don't have a catalog of those languages being spoken and a way to relearn those languages if we want to. But if a universal language is established and enforced by enforced I mean just the government says, all right, this is the official language of our country. We're going to print all our things in this language. Then the other languages, teach schools in this language, and no other language is going to be accepted in our culture. I don't think that would be a popular decision.
Sounds like a mean government, though.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like a very oppressive government saying, all right, this is the new language. Everybody learn it. Everybody learn it.
How about you and I should learn Latin?
That sounds, man, Latin's hard.
I know, how fun would that be?
I'm going to need to learn Latin.
Why?
I want to be an attorney. There's so much legal jargon that takes place in Latin still. And if you're a doctor, you need to learn Latin because all of the classifications of species and
True.
a lot of diseases are Latin based, and so much of what professional and educated people communicate in is either just pure Latin or a lot of the words that they use have Latin roots and Latin meanings. And understanding Latin is very important, at least in American culture. I'm not sure about the rest of the world to this day, where Latin plays into it, but it is universal in genome classifications. You talk about an animal, you got all kinds of Latin.
Yeah.
I just watched 300 the other day. Phenomenal movie, by the way, featuring Gerard Butler, some other people. That the Queen Cersei from Game of Thrones is in that.
Oh yeah.
I had forgotten completely about her. I don't remember.
Never mind.
It's not important. But she has black hair in that one, and she looks way better with her natural black hair.
Yeah.
I'm way into it.
All right. Well, good for you.
Yeah. No, she's great. She's great in that movie. Very powerful queen. Very very loud spoken, outspoken individual that comes at you with all the power of Sparta at her back as she speaks for King Leonidas.
If you were a member of an ancient civilization, what civilization would you want to be a member of?
Ancient civilization. Athens.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Athens is a great civilization. Ancient China, like Ming Dynasty China, with their emperors, also a very interesting time to live in, as they were dominant across the land. But I would probably want to be a Roman or a Macedonian in the time of the conquest of Alexander the Great. I think that'd be a proud time to be a Roman. You'd be privy to a lot of what history reflects on today, and you'd have this godlike emperor who's going out and conquering lands and fighting on your behalf.
You're just talking about how you're wanting government less authoritative, and now you're talking about having a godlike emperor.
Well, in that time, at least the emperor was on his horse and fighting alongside you. If you're a soldier in the Roman army, and that's not to say everyone was, but Alexander the Great certainly fought and led his soldiers into battle. He went and consulted an oracle before he did anything. Mm-hmm. Should I go and conquer this place? Yes. The oracle said, and he went and conquered. And he named everything Alexandria, which was, I think, pretty awesome. Actually living in any ancient civilization would be impossible unless you were an aristocrat.
True.
That's kind of one of the things that you have to look at, because
you would want to be in a place that has the best poor class, middle class, whatever relations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I remember when you were a little kid, and you conquered the great place of Tuscany, and you named it after yourself.
Well, yeah, I was the leader of the Etruscan civilization, for which that region of Italy is named.
And you named Etruscan people after yourself as
Absolutely.
Well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were all about me. Love that. Absolutely love that. It's a conquering is a hard job. It's not as easy as because you have to conquer, right? Which means you have to beat out whoever is in control of the region, and then comes the actual hard part, because if you've got enough power, you can conquer whoever you want, but maintaining that conquest and keeping that empire is so much harder than people give you credit for. Take the Huns for existence, or the what do you call it, Mongolians?
Yeah, Mongols.
The Mongols, right? The Mongols conquered the entire known world at that point, and were able to maintain it for an extended period of time. And that was the most impressive part about their civilization. They actually created what is known as the modern day passport to move between regions.
Really?
In their they had these little coins that they would issue to their own citizens, and if you had one of those coins, you were able to pass freely without being stopped by government checkpoints, and the army wouldn't be able to rob you and take your money and put you in prison.
So if you didn't have this one coin, they could legally rob you and put you in prison.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ancient civilizations were there wasn't a trial by jury.
No.
You just, if the emperor didn't like you,
he put his hands up and he put up a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Well, that was Gladiator.
And then the lions would eat you.
I like the gladiators. That would be cool too. Live in ancient Rome.
It would not be cool to be a gladiator.
I would. Well, don't be a gladiator, but you go sit in the stands and watch. Like they used to fill that thing up with water and have full scale naval battles.
That's insane.
In the Colosseum. Yeah. That's real stuff, man. That's crazy that would happen.
Do you think the naval battles would ever go out into the? Because I assumed they were shooting cannons, right?
I have no idea what happened.
Some sort of projectiles.
Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't exactly safe to be sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
It was like watching a bullfight.
Yeah, I guess.
Which I was actually really disappointed. I went to Mexico recently, and they had closed down the bull ring. They just weren't having bullfights anymore. And I was really excited to go and see a bullfight. Not that it was like going to be pleasurable to me, but you know, the bull's going to die either way, and I think it'd be an interesting thing to watch.
Would you ever run with the bulls?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, go to Pamplona. Run with the bulls in Spain.
I don't think I'm a fast enough runner.
I don't think you need to be.
But Americans are usually the people who get badly injured.
Well, yeah, because they're the ones trying to take selfies and are morons about it.
Yeah.
If you just run and have a grand old time and don't try to mess with the bulls, you're gonna do just fine.
I guess.
It's always the people who disobey the rules, and there are a few rules that go along with participating in the running with the bulls. They're pretty simple.
Don't go up to the bulls.
You gotta wear
You gotta run from the bulls.
You gotta wear the all white outfit with the red neckerchief.
Wear only red.
Yeah, and I mean it's a whole tradition, and it's really cool. Not a lot of people used to get hurt, but as soon as Americans started trying to go and mess with things, yeah, that's when the crap hits the fan. In the proverbial sense.
Which fan did somebody accidentally crap onto to birth that phrase?
I'm not entirely sure. That's
fans,
a question.
How long have fans been around?
Oh, well,
like, because there's been the handheld fans,
right,
for a long time, but
the palm leaves.
But the fans that spin, I assume that is what that phrase is you're talking about, because it's, you know, the idea that poop would go onto that and then it would spray back because it's so powered.
Well, I would assume that since electricity has only been around for about a century at this point, it would have originated within the last 100 years. Not only the invention of the fan, but turn of phrase.
You know who discovered electricity?
It wasn't Thomas Edison.
Correct.
I don't know who it was, but he bought the patent and took all the credit.
Also, and Ben Franklin. People always think that Ben Franklin discovered it too.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Nope. He just did a lot of experiments with lightning.
With lightning.
He did invent the lightning rod.
Everyone has a lightning rod.
Well, at the time.
Yeah.
You know.
I still have one. You don't have one?
I don't. Not
on
me.
Why not?
Well, I do live in an apartment complex.
Something that everyone has.
Yeah.
You got a lightning rod.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a plumbus.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a comb.
I've got a comb.
Yeah, everyone does.
Of those three things, that's what I've got.
You don't have a lightning rod, though.
Nope.
What are you doing with your life, man?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I'm not really all that afraid that something's going to strike me down. I do live on the top floor of this apartment building, but, you know, it'll hit somebody else.
If you could have any superpower in the entire world, what would you have?
What would I have? Teleportation doesn't seem like a bad one. Flying seems like it'd be a logistical nightmare. You know, like if you want to fly at any sort of reasonable speed, you're going to run into a lot of things. A lot of particles, a lot of bugs. The wind is going to rip your skin off.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But if
it depends on how fast you want to fly. Because I assume that if you have the ability to fly as fast that your skin rips off due to wind resistance, that you would also be able to not fly that fast.
Speaking of flying, I want to talk about Superman for a minute.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of times in Superman movies, comics, TV shows, what have you, whenever Superman shows up, There are a lot of times where he's just floating there. And
just hovering.
That's not a thing Superman can do. I mean, reasonably, the only reason he can fly is because he can jump. And since his body is built for the gravitational pull of a much larger planet, being Krypton, the planet on which he was born, all he can do is jump. And jump really far. And he can control his jump, right? And act like he's flying. And when he lands, it doesn't hurt him. But he can't just float there. That defies all physics. He doesn't have superpowers. He's just an alien.
No one likes Superman.
Yeah,
Everyone knows that Superman is a stupid guy.
Yeah, he's way too OP, man.
Yeah, no one. It's no fun to watch a movie with Superman because he's just like, oh, well, whoops, I'm gonna run around the Earth and spin it backwards, and then I'm gonna save Lois Lane.
Yep. Well, the whole thing behind Superman is if you've got kryptonite, you can fight him, and if you don't, you can't. And so the entire plot point
is finding kryptonite
and having it, and if you've got it, then you can eliminate Superman. And since Lex Luthor
isn't Krypton full of kryptonite?
Right. And the idea is that when you get close to it, it reverts you back to the original state from which you were from. But
he's always lying down. He's always like, and he like falls to the ground. Do they just lay on the ground at Krypton? Do they just lie around and suffer?
Yeah, I would imagine that's how it goes.
That's just how they live.
I don't think they really thought that part through. They're just like, oh, well, he's way too powerful for anyone to beat him, so he needs to have a weakness. Mm-hmm. Where can we exploit this weakness? So let's get a piece of his home planet and bring it near him. And then
he'll be so weak because your home makes you weak.
Yeah.
That's their lesson. Where you come from will make you weak.
Yeah, so you got to move out of your hometown.
Move out.
Get out of there.
Get out of the basement.
Yeah.
All you people reading comic books, stop living in your parents' house.
Yeah. I think that's really the message they're trying to bring to you. That's the
message they're trying to tell you. No, but Batman's better.
Oh, Batman's way better.
Everyone knows it.
If you could just buy a super suit.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man. Iron Man and Batman, they've just got practical inventions that
people
make them
just get
stronger.
upset that they're not real superheroes.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want my superheroes to have superpowers, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I like an element of realism into everything.
Yes.
So,
me too. Yeah.
Batman's got it, Kung Fu, trained by a Kung Fu master, bought all the things that make him who he is. Mm-hmm. And now he goes around and fights crime.
Because that's what you would do.
He's
dressed as a giant bat.
Yeah. He adopts the thing
He's
that
a giant brat.
Mm-hmm.
Dressed as a giant bat. That's how it works.
Definitely.
Well, if I had a superpower, thanks for asking.
But, no, that's cool.
If I had a superpower, I would choose time manipulation.
Yeah.
Not time travel.
Okay.
I don't want to travel back in time or forward in time.
Mm.
I just want to be able to pause time. Because then I could pause time, can read all the books I want, can watch all the movies and TV and all that I want, and I can learn all the things that I need to know. And if I'm ever in a weird situation where I need to think of a way to get out of it, I just pause and I think, and I go, how can I do this? And then I unpause, and then I figure it all out.
You wouldn't want to back up to a place where you didn't say the thing that you just said? Not to say that the thing you just said was bad, but, you ever make a bad comment in a situation and immediately regret it?
Yeah, but you know what? That could be my weakness. Because I don't want to be too OP. You
don't want to rewrite the annals of history?
I don't want to be perfect.
Perfect.
I want to have my flaws.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to just reverse everything that I just said, then I feel like I would just get too used to doing that. And always be saying bad things and then just be like, never mind.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Well, yeah, it'd be fun to provoke somebody, say something terrible to them, see their reaction, and then before they kill you...
Just cathartic.
Go back to right before you said what you said.
Yeah.
And say the right thing.
Just every single time you say something mean to a person they want to kill you, is that what you...
Well, I'm saying you provoke them to the point of murder.
Okay. Well, that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Well... just for fun.
I guess.
You like to see reactions.
Alright.
Let's do one more of these questions.
Can vegetarians eat animal crackers?
I would imagine they could.
But there are animals on them.
They are. I don't know. It depends on how seriously you take the whole animal cracker thing. And do they put beef extract in the animal crackers?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So.
But they're animals.
Yeah.
They're animal shapes.
I mean, if you've got one of those really big hearts where you just think I can't even look at this because it looks like an elephant, and elephants are way too cute to ever destroy. And I've met people like that. Any image of an elephant is something that they want to preserve and keep around. You don't want to bite the head off of it, even if it's an image, even if it's in a video game.
When I was little, I had come to the realization that eggs came from baby chickens. I had no idea. And I told my great aunt, and I said, I didn't know that. I don't think I'm ever going to eat eggs again. And she laughed at my face and forced me to eat eggs.
Wow.
Forced me to
That's
eat
cruel.
eggs. Yeah.
I mean, if you'd really felt that way.
And it was right after I found out that these were baby chickens.
Well, I don't think they were ever actually baby chickens.
Well, yeah, I know, but, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm eating baby chickens right now.
Since they weren't fertilized, they never had the possibility of becoming a full chicken.
Well, let's not get into that debate.
Life begins at egg. Eggs are tasty, though.
I'm a fan of eggs.
Yeah.
I'm also a fan of animals.
Yeah. No, animals are cool.
But I really do like meat a lot.
Yeah. And there's a certain amount of coexistence, and then, we eat them because we are a superior race.
Big fan of steak and chicken.
As humans.
Yes.
Superior race is humans, top of the food chain.
Yeah.
I want to clarify that before I start
Tuscan.
getting labeled as a Nazi. That's not at all where I was going with that, but now that I've clarified it, that soundbite is already there. So later on, they're just going to take that little tiny part and then they're just going to release it when you're trying to be a lawyer and say lawyering things. Yep.
And then they're going to say nope, racist.
Yeah, he's a racist. He said he was a superior race, and that, boy oh boy, is that problematic all the time.
I mean, you shouldn't be racist.
No, of course not.
No.
No one should be racist. It's a terrible thing.
Terrible thing. I mean, everyone, we're all the same.
Yeah, we're all just meat sacks.
We're all just
walking
pink
about.
on the inside.
We are pink on the inside.
I've checked.
Well, let's not go any further into what you just said.
I'm a serial killer, right?
Sure.
You've helped me.
I'm not gonna take that away from that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a smart serial killer, though. Like, I've seen enough TV shows to know where these people go wrong. I've read enough crime documentaries.
No.
These people always make a mistake.
No.
They overlook something.
Yeah, and Tuscan, you always make a mistake. There's so many things that go wrong in a murder. One, you shouldn't murder people.
Well, yeah.
Two, I think it's like 25 hints are always left behind, at least.
Is that so?
That's a totally made up statistic, but it's I'm pretty sure I heard something very similar to that was a real statistic. But I'm an idiot with an opinion.
What in the world? I mean, if you just cover all your bases.
Yeah, but what are all those bases, Tuscan? You don't know. There's so many.
Clean up after yourself. You don't leave fingerprints. You wear
one fingerprint will ruin that for you.
Right.
One.
So gloves.
Okay.
Fix that problem right away.
Okay.
Off the bat. You wear a hat so you don't leave hair behind.
What if it comes out anyway? A hat doesn't just make you.
I'm talking like a ski hat. One that tapers at the edges and makes sure your hair does not show whatsoever or escape.
Why don't you just shave all of your hair, including your eyebrows?
You could wear a morph suit with eye slits cut into it, and nothing's coming out of that.
Yeah, maybe your eyes.
I mean, you'd see the person you're killing would see your eyes. That is the one downside to the morph suit.
Okay, what about buying things? We're literally talking about how to correctly murder someone on this podcast.
You slowly and methodically buy whatever you need from different stores all around. You don't go out and have a shopping spree on one day where you buy with your credit card all the things that you need. Right? You take out a certain amount of cash, whatever you need. You go around and you buy piece by piece whatever you need to kill somebody.
Tuscan, if you're going to kill me, how would you kill me?
Well, I'd do it when you were living somewhere else.
Yeah.
I would create an alibi for myself and have witnesses that can attest to my presence somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'd just, I'd claim that I had a night alone. Because most of my nights are spent in my apartment watching TV. That's
harder to prove.
Not if I live alone.
Yeah, but it's harder.
It is hard to prove that I was
that you're
home alone. You're right. But
Tuscan, I want you to be safe.
Well,
I want you to be safe from the police if you ever kill me.
So I'm wearing a turtleneck. I'm wearing a ski mask.
Okay.
So that I have no exposed skin. I'm not leaving, skin particles on your body.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably use an object or an item that is already in my possession that nobody knows about. I will immediately discard it into a river, a lake, or some large body of water after having soaked it in alcohol. I will discard all of the clothes that I wore into an incinerator. I will burn them.
Okay.
And I will dispose of your body. That's the hardest part, is disposing of the body.
Do you have to?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you leave it behind and it's just an unsolved murder, then it's an unsolved murder.
Mm.
But
I would murder you by slowly poisoning you.
That works. You could fake a suicide.
That'd be really sad though.
It would be.
Also, murdering someone would be really sad though.
Correct.
And that's where we're gonna end it. Right on that note.
Yeah. No, murdering somebody, entirely hypothetical. Don't want to put out there that we're truly contemplating this sort of thing.
But likely.
And the person who I think would probably do the best murdering, as he does just the best everything. He thinks things through. He makes rational decisions, and he covers all his bases. That man is one Carl Westberg.
Thinks seven steps ahead. Yeah,
absolutely.
Carl Westberg.
He'll beat you in every game of chess.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll murder you. It's entirely likely. But we'd like to dedicate our episode to Carl Westberg because he brings everything to the table.
Yeah, brings everything together. He brings apples, brings bananas, brings sliced cheese.
I believe he used to push a food cart.
Yes.
Or a fruit cart. Back in the day, selling oranges, apples, bananas, what have you on the side of the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And they were delicious.
I remember them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Had this Westbergian tang to them.
Yeah.
Each
very
one.
Tangible quality that just cannot be replicated or bested.
Mm-hmm. You know when you bite into a fruit. You know when it's a Westberg fruit.
So thank you to Carl Westberg, and that's where we'll be signing off.
Thank you for all your fruits and all your wisdoms and all your your help.
Yep.
Thanks very much. This has been Idiots with Opinions. My name's Todd.
And I'm Tuscan.
And we hope you're not an idiot.
Yep. Bring a pineapple to the next social event that you attend.
And everyone will think you're smart.
Yep.
You've been listening to Idiots with Opinions.